this sport has helped me so much in my life. I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke.
A little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
There is a specific kind of silence that only happens at the very top of the heavyweight ladder. It's not the silence of an empty room. It's the heavy, suffocating quiet that follows a collision so violent it stops the heart of an entire stadium. For 5 rounds, the world watched a social media disruptor try to out-angle a mountain. But in the 6th, the mountain moved. When Anthony Joshua's right hand finally connected, it wasn't just a punch. It was a careering reality check. As the referee's count echoed through the arena, the bravado that built an empire was replaced by a clinical...
My mom wanted me not to fight Anthony Joshua. I should have listened to my mom. My dad pushed me to this. Now I'm alone in the hospital. Got to eat liquid now. Anthony Joshua be ready for a...
empire was replaced by a clinical medical emergency. The image of Jake Paul face down on the canvas is already etched into boxing history. But what happened in the minutes that followed is what has the entire community reeling. While the crowd roared for Joshua, a different story was unfolding in Paul's corner. There was no celebration of a moral victory or a good effort. Instead, there were trainers checking vitals with shaking hands and a medical team that looked genuinely concerned. The transition from a global spectacle to a life-or-death situation happened in a heartbeat. Joshua stood in the center of the ring.
Congratulations on your wins tonight in Miami.
So
How are you feeling right now?
Calm, chilled, good to get the win, but there's a lot I could have done better. So a bit of mixed emotion.
Like what?
Could have done a lot better, cut the ring off, maybe done what I done in the 6th, first, second, even in the first. But our wins are wins, and that's why we're here talking now.
You talked about having the weight of the boxing world on your shoulders, and like the purists, right?
Yeah,
and how do you deal with that type of pressure when the media is so fickle? 1 minute they love you, 1 minute they hate you. Do you feel that even though you won tonight, you're still not going to be pleased?
So with the media, how I operate the media is you got negative and you got positive. So I do honestly focus on the positive. I don't really focus on the negative. And secondly, I just understand that while I'm in the hot seat, so let's say there's a seat, and right now I'm elevated to that hot seat, I gotta take all the shit that comes with being in that hot seat, and then once I move on from that hot seat, no one's gonna care about me anyway. So I just gotta...
That's not true.
It's true, it's how it goes. It's how it goes, so I know how it works. I understand the cycle. I'm currently in that motion. I'm dealing with some shit at the minute, but it won't last forever. Have some tough skin, and then in a couple of years, I'll be sitting back watching someone else deal with that shit.
Thank you,
Come on,
guys.
Chan, have some tough skin, you'll be alright.
All right.
Well,
Thank you so much
good
for your
to
time.
see you, Michelle.
Great to see you too.
Fight fans, God bless.
In the locker room, the energy shifted from shock to genuine fear. The rumors started circulating almost immediately. Talk of a career-ending injury, a total collapse of the jaw, and an emergency transport to the nearest trauma center. Joshua, known for his respectful demeanor, didn't hold back in his post-fight assessment. He admitted that while he respects anyone who steps into the ring, his natural instinct is to end the fight as violently as possible. He didn't just win a match. He dismantled a person. That killer instinct wasn't a metaphor.
We think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA. And I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already talked to is 4 to 6 weeks.
The true extent of the damage surfaced just hours later, and the visuals were nothing short of graphic. A double fracture, not a hairline crack or a minor break, but a complete structural failure of the jawbone. When the X-ray hit social media, the internet went into a frenzy. Seeing the metal and the displacement of the bone made one thing very clear. This wasn't a show anymore. This was the cost of trying to bridge the gap between influencer and elite heavyweight. The bravado remained, with Paul making wild claims about fighting again in 10 days. But the medical reality...
According to Jake Paul, he stated he had to do surgeries. He broke his jaw on 2 different locations on both sides. He lost many teeth that he has to replace, or he replaced already. And after that, Jake called out Canelo. But he need to focus on Gervonta for real, because Canelo gonna do him dirty. With that being said, Jake said, quote, "Just got out of surgery. Everything went smooth. Thanks for all the love. A lot of pain and stiffness. Gotta eat liquid for 7 days, even on Christmas." So To the amazing team of Miami University Hospital, everyone was so gracious and caring. Double broken jaw. Give me Canelo in 10 days. Jaw broken, heart and balls intact. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. Okay, now that's a smart thing to do because he did fight a super heavyweight in AJ. But I don't think it's going to be any sweeter at cruiserweight, but we'll see.
This brings us to the word everyone is whispering: retirement. The headlines are screaming it, and for good reason. When a fighter sustains an injury this severe, the conversation naturally shifts to whether they should ever take a hit like that again. While the retirement claims are being used to drive clicks, the truth is found in the indefinite break Paul is now forced to take. You don't just bounce back from a shattered face, you have to wonder if the internal clock has finally run out. He spoke about being a disruptor.
Tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best. And I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up. And I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
Logan Paul stepped into the role of the protective older brother, calling Jake a warrior and claiming his spirit can't be broken. But in the cold light of the boxing world, spirit doesn't win fights. Skill and durability do. The influencer boxing bubble, which many thought was invincible, finally met a wall it couldn't talk its way through. Critics are pointing out that this was always the inevitable conclusion of matching a promotional genius against a seasoned, world-class knockout artist. It wasn't a matter of if this would happen, but when.
Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we don't want to look too far into the future. I know you said Jake wants a break. He's going through some, he's coming off a tough fight. But, I mean, like, it seems written on the wall that that would be an obvious fight to, look forward to in the future. Could you see Jake versus Francis Ngannou?
The whole situation with Francis was very confusing to me. And he's done a couple of interviews, back and forth on terms of how he thought about our conversation. I think Francis is a revolutionary when it comes to fight sports. He stood up against the UFC, showed what kind of man he is. And this process was just, again, a little bit confusing for me, given who I know who he is as a human being.
Reaction from the Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury. Instead of acknowledging Joshua's dominant performance, Fury took the opportunity to stir the pot, mocking the victory.
I am him, the man. I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. 37-year-old at the end of his career, fighting a YouTuber, a Disney Channel guy, who Tommy B, and now he's talking about killing and all that to try and sell.
Okay.
Please, barking up the wrong tree, idiot. You're a classless loser coming off a 15 months knockout defeat to a local lad. Imagine if someone from Morecambe knocked me out. If I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you back out. You big bum, useless.
And claiming he would have finished the job even faster. It's a classic move in the heavyweight chess game, but it highlights a strange truth. Jake Paul's loss somehow managed to accelerate the timeline for a Joshua Fury showdown. Even in defeat, Paul is still the catalyst for massive movement in the sport, though he's currently watching it all from a hospital room. The business of pain is a lucrative one, and controversy equals commerce has always been the motto. Despite the medical trauma and the very real possibility that Paul's chin will never be the same, the talks of a rematch started before the blood was even cleaned off the canvas. There is a morbid curiosity in seeing how a person responds to this kind of offing of their career momentum. Will Jake return as a humbler version of himself? Or will the delusion of grandeur take over once the painkillers wear off?